I called Donald Trump a wannabe dictator, it's because he is. It's because he is. Maybe it's time for us to be a little more fierce. Because we have to ferociously push back on this. The thing that bothers a teacher more than anything is to watch a bully.
Is there something going on that we're missing?
Well, there's a couple of things. First of all, whose balls is he hiding in his cheeks?
Yeah.
That's the first question that I want to know. And I don't love the way he says, Pierce.
Yeah.
Tim Walz's squeaky clean image just went up in flames like a bonfire gone wrong at a summer tailgate. Tyrus didn't come to chat, he came to detonate. And wow, did he deliver. This wasn't some half-hearted rant tossed between commercial breaks, it was a full-blown takedown of Minnesota's so-called Mr. Nice Guy in classic Gutfeld fashion. Tyrus cracked open Walz's polished image like a raccoon breaking into a trash can, and what spilled out looked less like leadership and more like a reality show meltdown. Once the truth started rolling, there was no putting the lid back on. Walz was cornered, sweating, and Minnesota Nice quickly turned into Minnesota Nope.
It's because he is. Maybe it's time for us to be a little more fierce. Because we have to ferociously push back on this. The thing that bothers a teacher more than anything is to watch a bully, to watch this bully and to stop it. And when it's a child, you talk to them and you tell them why bullying's wrong. But when it's adult like Donald Trump, you bully the shit out of him back. This is a weak, cruel man that takes it.
Tyrus must have been scrolling headlines, coffee in hand, when something snapped, and he said, "That's it, the clown show ends now." You could feel the shift instantly when Tyrus says enough. It doesn't sound like a warning, it sounds like a heavyweight stepping into the ring, calling out a politician under the spotlight. Mic blazing, crowd roaring. Greg Gutfeld jumped in laughing, saying, "I haven't seen a man this nervous since Brian Stelter heard about keto," and the studio went wild. The energy was pure chaos. Raw, electric, unstoppable. If political smackdowns had weight classes, this wasn't a fight, it was a championship brawl for the ages.
Is deeply part of it. That's one of the, I mean, I think it goes, and you can look at the reasons why we've had this sort of dialectic over the Me Too movement.
How do you fight it?
This
I
notion
think
of
I could kick most of their.
What he's mad about is his own fault. He's mad about the image that was portrayed of him as the hunter. And who did that? You did that. We just laughed about it because the one thing you can't do is you can't front. You can't floss. Those are two key words when it comes to man.
If you're loving this roast, hit that subscribe button before Walz pauses for another deep reflection, because Tyrus didn't just roast the guy, he body slammed him straight into the national spotlight, and the shockwave rattled Minnesota's calm image to its frozen core. Suddenly, the friendly dad next door looked more like that neighbor who borrows your tools and never brings them back, but somehow ends up running for office. His cool guy act cracked wide open like a February parking lot, and when Gutfeld joked, "You can slap a smile on mediocrity, but it still smells like government," the crowd lost it because the truth hit harder than any punchline.
Yeah.
A teacher snatches the bully's ass up.
Yeah.
Come sit with me. That's why I know someone's bully. Oh, you can sit with me for a while. And then I would lean on him. I'd bully him back. He's not a teacher. He's not a politician. He's a creepy guy who can't remember his speeches. I don't know what the hell was in the water in that White House, or was everyone on the same bad cocaine? But Kamala can't speak. He can't speak. Biden was so high he couldn't remember anything. Like, this is literally the dumbest administration of all time. Why is he talking?
It really is the ultimate clown show. And I said this in the pod. He's a clown.
America's been spoon-fed the story of Tim Walz, the sweet Midwestern good guy mowing his lawn, waving at neighbors, showing up to the potluck with his famous potato salad. But Tyrus took one look and said, "That's not potato salad, that's political mayo," and tore that nice guy mask apart like expired deli meat. Greg Gutfeld jumped in laughing, saying you can almost see his campaign team practice the wave, 3 pumps, 1 nod, and a dash of fake sincerity to Tyrus. Walz wasn't genuine, he was an overcooked casserole of tired slogans and soft leadership. Every bit of his act tasted like reheated leftovers from yesterday's politics.
Bad for Elon. Mm-hmm. I would be furious if I was him. Mm-hmm. If this is who you sent to troll me?
Yeah.
Like, what am I doing wrong to get the guy from D Team to come out at Family Theater and call me names?
Yeah.
Like, Tim, if they were like, oh, Tyrus, man, tough news cycle. Tim Walz is talking about you. I'd be like, oh, Timmy, I want to fight him.
Then came the knockout punch that made the whole crowd gasp. Tyrus tore through Walz's feel-good origin story, the teacher, the veteran, the coach, and said, great resume, terrible sequel, because once he hit office, the act fell apart fast. He went from small-town dad to big government dad, grounding everyone during lockdowns while sneaking out for takeout like nothing happened. Harris mocked him like a bad infomercial, yelling during CO, you couldn't go to church, but hey, you could still buy booze and scratch-offs, and the audience erupted as Gutfeld jumped in. Only in Minnesota can you buy whiskey at midnight, but get fined for breathing too close to a pew. It was savage, hilarious, and painfully real.
Tweets, my DMs, like just one arm, and I just want to slap the. He's so weak. He brings nothing. If you were gonna go after someone, man to man, hit him with a fact. Hit him with something real.
Yes.
You don't have anything. And here's the cold part. If Elon called him up and said, hey, Tim, you want a job? He would take it. Because that's what spineless... He would, and when he was questioned, he was like, I was just holding him in account. You know, I respect him, and I'm so happy to be working for X. He is the worst player on their team, and they don't mind sending him out because
They're trying to get him off the table.
Yeah.
They're putting him out early so he can't be a factor.
1 minute Walz is all in, and the next he's totally against it, depending on whether CNN smiles or scowls. That day Tyrus called it the Circo, so lame of politics, and the crowd lost it. The guy's done more flips than the housing market under Biden, Tyrus roared. And Gutfeld grinned, saying at this point he should just join Cirque du Soleil. At least there he'd get paid to pretend. Walz flips so much you expect him to pull a hamstring mid-speech. It's that bargain brand relatability you'd find at Target. With a Neiman Marcus price tag, and that kind of hypocrisy is Tyrus's favorite meal, and trust me, he never leaves leftovers.
Levine, look, he has a sports coat and a zip-up sweater underneath. No man wears that.
I may have done that in the past.
Yes.
I won't now, Tyrus.
Yeah, and one day somebody's going to explain what a corporate income tax is to these people. It's not paid by this. It's not paid by the corporation. It's not like a building that goes, I've got to pay taxes. It's the worker.
Politics isn't about truth anymore. It's all just a stage show, and Tim Walz is the lead actor, grinning his way through the script with that fake everyman charm. Tyrus tore into him, calling it the children's magician act of politics, because every time Walz reaches into his hideout comes another empty promise, and somehow the crowd still claps. Gutfeld jumped in, saying, except instead of doves, it's just excuses. And that line hit hard. The illusion crumbled fast during the pandemic when gyms were shut down, liquor stores stayed open, and logic vanished completely. And when the riots came, Walz didn't lead, he froze like a deer in headlights. Tyrus laughed, saying he tried to stop chaos with a garden hose. Maybe next time bring a plan instead of prayers.
That's a big red flag. Whenever you meet someone and they have to give you their resume,
yeah.
and then as soon as they talk, you're like, that's why you gave me your resume.
Yeah, because it doesn't speak for itself.
You suck.
Yeah. It's like when people have their PhD on their Twitter handle. It's like, you know, this person's completely bonkers.
And their pronouns.
Yes. Are you mad though, Tyrus, that like beards have been kind of co-opted by beta males like Tyler?
No, because it's
say.
like all. Wait, hold on. Watch what I say. I will around, stick my hand up your back, and make you my puppet.
That's when Tyrus flipped the whole scene into a comedy show. He painted Walz as that neighbor who swears he'll fix the fence, but shows up with nothing but duct tape and a podcast about empathy. Gutfeld couldn't stop laughing, saying he's like Mr. Rogers if Mr. Rogers hired a committee to run the neighborhood. Every big promise free. This expanded. That sounded sweet until reality showed up, asking who's paying for it. Instead of a Minnesota miracle, people got a messy group project where everyone forgot what they were supposed to do. The result, a PowerPoint of excuses and a state barely held together by spin and duct tape.
Would have won, Susie would say, I would have won Pennsylvania easily anyway, even if the governor ran, the real governor, not the governor from Minnesota, he's a sick puppy, that guy. That poor guy, feels sorry for him. But
By this point, Tyrus was on absolute fire, unstoppable, ruthless, and hilarious. He said Walz leads like a guy at karaoke, nails the first verse, then mumbles the rest, hoping nobody notices. Gutfeld grinned and tossed, and he's the kind of guy who talks about tax cuts like it's a diet, all talk, no results. The crowd went wild as Tyrus tore into the irony of it all. The so-called hero of working families, now digging through those same families' couch cushions for spare change. Schools were crumbling faster. Then a snowstorm on I-94, and the former teacher preaching responsibility was now driving the whole state straight into an educational meltdown.
What do you make? Whoa, you got something there?
Hold on, before we do this, man, I got to protein up. Hold on.
Chug, 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 chug. Oh, he's chugging it.
I need more protein, Gutfeld. I got my protein pudding, my protein shakes, jerky if you piss me off, but this ain't enough protein for this segment, Greg. I got an old school distillery here.
Then came the total meltdown, law and order, or what was left of it. Gutfeld joked it's like watching the Titanic captained by a guy who just downloaded Google Maps, and the studio exploded with laughter. Walz preaches justice and reform while cities crumble and businesses disappear faster than his approval ratings. Every time someone calls him out, he waves his military past like a backstage pass to credibility, and that's when Tyrus struck hard. Bro, this isn't Call of Duty. You don't get extra lives. For flashbacks, the crowd lost it. He called Walz a mood ring politician, changing colors depending on who's whispering in his ear. It was savage, sharp, and impossible to look away.
I gotta tell you, I can't wait to debate the guy. That is, if he's willing to get off the couch and show up. So, you see what I did there? I gotta tell you, pointing out just an observation of mine that I made. I just have to say it. You know it, you feel it. These guys are creepy. And
then Tyrus hit full throttle. Chaos and comedy fused into one unstoppable force. Walz, he joked, looks like the guy practicing empathy in the mirror, asking, "How's this, honey?" More concern, less jaw clench. The audience lost it, and Gutfeld cracked up. If sincerity were Wi-Fi, his would drop every 3 minutes. Walz's idea of unity? About as effective as family Monopoly night, flipped boards, flying insults, and someone faking a stomach ache to leave early. To Tyrus, Walz wasn't leading, he was marketing leadership, a plaid-clad salesman peddling optimism with 200,000 miles on the odometer. But Tyrus wasn't finished. Not even close. He delivered the encore that left jaws on the floor. Tim Walz is what happens when you give a substitute teacher the nuclear codes. The crowd erupted as Gutfeld leaned in, smirking. Walz governs like a guy who thinks leadership just means talking slower and waving his hands. Every move he makes feels like a committee-approved shrug, the kind of leadership that could turn a fireworks show into a fire drill. Tyrus piled on. Walz has the energy of a man who'd call a task force just to decide on pizza toppings. The mix of humor and brutal truth hit hard, because the idea of a governor terrified of his own decisions is as hilarious as it is alarming.
Former VP nominee Tim Walz, he joined Beto O'Rourke at a Texas town hall last night, and the estrogen levels were enough to give Chuck Norris menstrual cramps. I wonder, is our strength our diversity?
Our strength is our diversity. We've been talking about this for years as a country of immigrants, and we let them define the issue on immigration. We let them define the issue on DEI, and we let them define what woke is. We got ourselves in this mess because we weren't bold enough to stand up and say, "You damn right we're proud of these policies. We're going to put them in, and we're going to execute them."
So, wait, you lost because you weren't?
By the finale, Tyrus had stripped away every last ounce of Walz's polished act until only the bare truth remained. This wasn't Minnesota nice, it was Minnesota manufactured. The crowd laughed, but beneath the humor, heads were nodding. They saw it too. The contradictions, the endless posing, the "I'm just like you" routine finally collapsing under its own weight. Gutfeld landed the perfect closer, sneering, Walz is what happens when you order authenticity from Wish, and the audience erupted. Tyrus landed the final knockout. This guy runs Minnesota like he's assembling IKEA furniture, blindfolded, missing screws, but full of confidence. Applause wasn't just for the jokes. It was for the honesty behind them. When the curtain fell, not even Walz's cozy cardigan could hide the cracks. Gutfeld grinned razor sharp. Tim Walz isn't leading Minnesota. He's babysitting it. Tyrus added, he's the kind of politician who mistakes likability for leadership and schedules empathy like a Zoom call. Together, they tore down the curtain of pretense, leaving only raw truth standing. By the end, Walz's reputation looked less like a legacy and more like a blooper reel of bad decisions, and the laughter wasn't just the finale. It was the judgment.